hands-on harps. It's an interactive program, and I'm just dying to hear all about it. So welcome, Lisa Lynne.
Thank you so much. It is a privilege and pleasure to be here amongst so many kindred spirits. What I'm going to do first is I am going to just play a little piece of music, original piece of music. I started out as a heavy metal bass player. And right around the early 80s, the big hair 80s thing, I discovered the Celtic harp at the Renaissance Fair. I figured out I could play all those same chord progressions on the Celtic harp. So I immediately took my Celtic harp right onto the heavy metal stage and would open the last song, and all this, it was in Orange County, California, and all the sweaty kids in their leather studs just headbanging at the stage would see the harp and suddenly go, oh, and they would just melt and turn into boys and children again. So I knew the harp, I was onto something. The next 10 years I made my living in a biker band, playing in biker bars and biker conferences and Harley conferences. And I always had my harp with me, and I always insisted that the bikers that congregated behind the dark alley bar would play my harp. So sure enough, they would be interested, and they would, you know, in their squeaky big leather jackets, they would do a strum on the harp. And I go, oh, also, so I knew that I was really, really onto something with the harp. So I started figuring out, okay, I should be playing the harp the whole time. And so I did street fairs and busking all over the country and Canada and all different festivals. And eventually I made my way to the big stage. I got a big record contract and toured around in buses on Windham Hill with all the Windham Hill artists that I admired, played in beautiful performing arts centers all over the country. But it was an interesting experience because I was so used to connecting with people closer that the stage was so dark, you couldn't see the audience, you didn't get to talk to anyone, and it just was a little different than I thought. Not only that, there was a lot of pressure from the record labels. You have to get on the Billboard charts. And it's really hard to do. I could only get, with all this work and years of trying, number 13, number 17, number 16. You can't get in the top 10. Why? Because it always says Yanni, 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 and then Yanni, Yanni. None of us can go there. It doesn't matter. They don't have albums. They just stay on there. So, no matter what I did, I could not get that up. And so it was all a little bit discouraging. The record industry is changing. The record labels are coming apart, and all different things are happening. And so it's a little discouraging. And that was right about when Columbine happened. And I, like all of us, were shocked watching the TV, couldn't look away, I just couldn't. It was like the worst thing we'd seen in a long time at that time. And I got a miracle call. I was totally blown away. There's a harp center in Los Angeles that said, guess what? One of the Columbine families has your Love and Peace CD, and they are using it to soothe their high school student. Anne-Marie Hochhalter was one of the first students shot outside 3 times in the back, paralyzed from the waist down, laid on the sidewalk through the whole ordeal. And her family had gotten my Love and Peace CD, and it was the only CD that she would and could sleep to. So they called the Harp Center looking for more of my CDs. Another miracle, I happened to be touring through Colorado shortly after, so I went straight to the hospital and I met them with my harp and all my music, and it was the first time, aside from visiting my grandma, I'd ever taken a harp in the hospital. I didn't know what was going to happen. It was still really raw. It was like 3 weeks after, and families were camped out of the critically wounded students in Swedish hospitals. So every family had like their own classroom, people bringing casseroles and stuff, but it was still really intense. I was kind of nervous. I didn't have a plan, didn't know what was going to happen. I just brought in my harp and started to play. And I don't know what it was. The timing was right for a big release to happen. So we went all day long. Music for 15 minutes, talking for 15 minutes, music for 50. It was just the most incredible day I ever had in my life. The whole time Anne-Marie slept, so I didn't meet her that day. But the family was saying, oh, she would have loved this. She loved playing a little piano, guitar. Oh, she would have loved this. And so I left there completely changed. Like, I don't care about the Billboard charts anymore. This matters so much more. What can I do? What if I got Anne-Marie a little harp of her own so that she could learn to play while she's healing? So I went online to all the chat harp groups and I told them of this incredible experience I had. Does anyone want to go in with me on a little harp for Anne-Marie? And I got bombarded with donations from all over the world, and we got Anne-Marie a beautiful full-size harp, just like this, engraved with her name, with flowers and case, and it was just incredible. And it was a surprise to her. And it was time for her to start sitting up, and she hated it, and she fought, and no one could get her to sit up. She didn't know the harp was coming. The whole family knew the harp was coming. The principal was there. And this is the moment that she got the harp right there. And it was the moment she began wanting to sit up in order to play the harp. I was able to go back again after about a month, and she was very eager to learn to play. She wanted to learn Green Sleeves and Amazing Grace, so we had lessons, and she really, really loved it and really used it. This was profoundly life-changing for me, so I thought, okay, I want this. It's not even just about playing passively for the patient, but it was about empowering the patient to make their own music as well. So I spent my money, I got more harps, I got everything together and started taking the little harps out, and I started going to convalescent homes, and the really, really old people do a little concert where they were really old in their wheelchairs, and I thought I would really have to encourage them, come play the harps, but they practically ran me over to get to the harp. So there again, the heavy metal kids, the bikers, the old people, the same thing happened all the time. This is my grandmother's rest home. So I decided to I still tour heavy all the time, but I thought once a month I'm going to send some letters out. By virtual alphabetical order, I sent out 2 letters, City of Hope and Children's Hospital, saying this is what I do. I'm volunteering a little program. It empowers the patients to make their own music. And so I thought I could do this once a month. Blue, City of Hope, responded to my letter, and they said, we love this idea. It landed just on the right social worker's lap. What would you do if you had money? And it never even thought of it. So I had to think fast on my feet, and I went back to my old heavy metal days. Well, we'll have concerts in the lobby. So I was running around with flyers and brochures, and all my colleagues and awesome musicians touring through LA were more than willing to come and do these beautiful concerts in the lobby. So we promoted them with posters, and rock guys came, and it was just really wonderful. It just was such high quality that we had it every other Tuesday evenings. We would sometimes do variety shows, magic shows, Christmas shows. And then of course I brought all my harps, and we had workshops. And patients and families and staff would come out and play music together and really use it as a tool, and a lot of caregiving for caregivers. I would always just have the harps, so I was everywhere. Of course, we had music in the hallways too, which I really like, the freedom of the patient to be able to open the door or close the door, depending on what they have. Sometimes we get called into a room as well. Sometimes it's entertainment, sometimes it's meditation or prayer. We also had a little music library where we had all these little harps, and patients can come and check out the harps, and I got some help after a year of like craziness. I was completely engulfed in this. My whole life just clicked in, and I was so thrilled with all this progress that was happening. And so we had music library, patient could check out books, music CDs. The daily harpist would come and see who's got the harps, who needs a tune-up, who needs a little lesson. This was visiting Shannon's Hospital in Gainesville, Florida. This little girl, she just didn't even want to hear me play. She wanted to just get on that harp. She was singing Sleeping Beauty. Eventually she got me off the harp altogether. And one of the hardest things to do is leave, and I'm so sorry, I gotta go. And she's all, no, don't go. She's hanging onto the harp for the whole night. I'm so sorry, I have to go. And she said, well, you go, but you can leave this here. So I I'm all involved in this. I'm visiting all different hospitals with my little story and presentation, and I'm ignoring my record contract because I still own a record. Normally it takes 6 months to write, produce, do all the promotion, blah, blah, blah. I'm so over it. I so do not care. So I ended up just in the hallways of City of Hope writing a whole record on my little mini disc player, recorded it at a cello guitar, blah, blah, turned it in. No radio promotion, no radio hit song, no nothing. And I just went back to my work and fulfilled my obligation. But meanwhile, this program was doing so well and getting so much attention that the newspapers started coming and doing little stories about it. So all over LA and San Diego, Palm Desert, had these wonderful stories because doctors and patients had never been jamming tunes together at night in the lobby. Wall Street Journal even, I got invited to go, Atlanta News, NBC, tell my story.
From lullabies to romantic ballads, never underestimate the power of music, especially when it comes to help people express their feelings, even cope with illness. Joining us now is harpist and composer Lisa Lynne, the first musician in residence at the City of Hope National Cancer Center in Duarte. Lisa, thanks for...
Our next guest went from being a heavy metal musician to a new age Celtic harp player. The transition may seem random, but Lisa Lynne says she found her heart through the harp, and she's helping others to find inspiration and well-being through music at the internationally renowned City of Hope National Cancer Center outside of Los Angeles. The talented Lisa Lynne brings her uplifting sounds to Good Day Now.
And that record went to number 6 on the Billboard. In New York, it was number 4 on the retail charts between Metallica and 50 Cent. And if you're not familiar with Metallica and 50 Cent, so now, what happens is I load up 17 harps in my van. I drive around everywhere from Seattle to San Diego, set them up in the lobby. Whoever wants to do music in their hospital brings in the bigwigs, the donors, the check writers, and I do my show and I make them all play the harp, and the next thing you say, what do you need, how much, where do you sign? So I've helped enable a lot of programs to start. So that's sort of the best use of my time. The City of Hope is now about to go on 10 years solid live music. Now we have 2 Kaisers, a Riverside community. It has really spread out, and so many new programs have started just because of the visiting harps and making the bigwigs play the harps. And I also take the harps to schools.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
I still do festivals in which I encourage all kids to just come up and play the harps. This was an event for advanced kids. This was at a nudist retreat, followed right by the convent nuns. Same day, same harps. And this is a rehab center in Florida.
God shed His grace on thee, and from thy good brotherhood, from sea to shining sea.
This is the Society of Arts and Healthcare in Canada. I came as a participant there. City of Hope has a brand new hospital with a big old lobby. It's awesome. We have incredible groups come in. I also started playing the neonatal care unit, and so I made a CD just to give to the babies and their families, right? And in all my career, I've tried to be successful enough to buy my mom a house. It has always eluded me. I made this CD, and 2 Kaisers liked it so much they give it to every baby born. So they buy like 500 or 600 a month for this. And then from that, a cosmetics company, one of those home cosmetics companies, ordered 27,000 of these, and so I bought my mom a house. So now we have success. The harps are very much a part of the sound at City of Hope and all these other places. And then Children's Hospital called again. So we bring 4 little harps in the cart, we roll around with the big harps, it's time to sing! And everybody just drops everything and sings in all the different lobbies. It's really wonderful. And this is Anne-Marie today. Anne-Marie has graduated from college. She mentors youth in her church. She speaks on forgiveness. She has complete and total forgiveness. And she went through many dark years, and she has just become this glowing light of a being like I've never seen before. And when our lives intersected, both of us were very dramatically changed. She felt that the harp symbolized people that cared for her and that life can still go on. And that's what I do believe when I do these workshops. It doesn't matter if you go on to play the harp, it symbolizes something that you didn't know you could do. So people who are in life-altering things with a big challenge ahead, this is just a simple, you didn't know you could do this today, and you did this today, so what else can you do? The firemen of Columbine built her a beautiful condo where she rides over. She picked me up in her 4x with all these arm-swinging wheelchair things. She cruises around, went to the mall. She's assistant manager at Bed Bath Body Works thing. And she's just a lively spirit that knows forgiveness like we all would love to someday, you know. So she doesn't mind if I tell her story, but she says on one condition is that I always, every time I tell it, have to play her favorite song, Amazing Grace. So that's
Stop crying so I can talk. Lisa, you are so inspiring. What an amazing journey you've had, and you've touched so many lives. It's spectacular. Thank you. Enjoy your lunch. We'll be back in a few minutes with the award ceremony.